Hello again, football fans. Welcome to another week of Friday Night Varsity Preview. We're into week 4 already. That means 3 weeks are in the books. I'm Aaron Schoonmaker, joined by Dan Spears, the sports editor here. And 3 weeks in, Dan, lots of surprises, lots of disappointments. Real quick, let's jump into it. Give me your 3 up, 3 down through 3 weeks.
Sure. Kind of all over the place. The first 2 will come from the Waccamaw. South Brunswick's 3-0 and gone on the road twice and won pretty convincingly. Really shut down Ashley after having some hiccups early in that game. They should be 5-0 heading into the Waccamaw, which would be a huge step up for them considering they were doing some rebuilding this year. Second up is Whiteville coming into town, beating Hoggard. They've got a big game this week against 4A Lumberton, but that's a team that they went on the road and beat last year and gutted one out against West Columbus. So they're off to a good start despite replacing a lot of players. And my third up is going to be James Keenan. I know they lost last week to East Bladen, but there was a chance that they could have really gotten, run out of the building in that game, and they actually hung in on the road and played really well. So those are my 3 ups. I'm not going to call them my 3 downs. I think these are just 3 teams that you might want to keep an eye on as we go into the next part of the season. The first one is Hoggard, 0-3. We haven't seen that around here in a long time. So they get the Q Foundation, which is a private school out of Charlotte this week. They should win that game. They need a good vibe coming in. They've got some tough games coming up after that. If they can get it resettled, they can get it turned up for the Mid-Eastern Conference. They did this a little last year, struggled early, and then picked it up late. Second team is North Brunswick. They've installed a new offense over there, kind of a version of the University of Nevada's pistol offense. It's putting up a ton of points. Problem is, they're giving up as many as they're getting. So last week had a wild game against Trask that they lost. They've got another tough game this week with East Columbus. They need a win this week before they head into the Waccamaw Conference. And then my third team is West Brunswick. They're in the middle of a 4-game road trip right now, and they're playing all over the place. This week they'll play twice up here in Wilmington. This week they play Laney. Next week they play Ashley. If they can play well in those games, then go into the conference schedule in the Waccamaw, they'll be just fine. But the thing is, can they get through these next 2 or 3 games on the road? Again, a couple of them up here in Wilmington.
Well, it's back again. Your favorite part of the show, my favorite part of the show. It's the prop box in place of Rachel. She was great. I'd like to think I'm all right. Dan's going to serve up some games for me to pick of the 8, 5 of the 8. You can be sure to get all the picks online Friday from all the staff. But Dan, pick 5 for me to pick.
Okay, we'll start with something relatively easy. Well, at least I think it's relatively easy. We got Q Foundation at Hoggard. Yeah, the Vikings are 0-3, but they played a lot better last week against Jap Brett.
Yeah, and Harrell's Christian played Q Foundation last week. It was a 34-point win for Harrell's over Q. It was a 40-8 game that Q Foundation was on the wrong side of the week before. So this one's kind of an easy one in my book as well. And I'm going to go with the Vikings right there on that one.
All right. Hoggard, 1-3, he's saying after this week. Game 2, this is an old Mid-Eastern Conference rivalry game, but now it's a non-conference game, West Brunswick at Laney.
And this is a good one. I like what West Brunswick's doing. They're really going to get going, but they are in the middle of a 4-game road stretch. Laney, they were a victim of their own mistakes last week. That offense is really good. That defense is really, really good. I got to take Laney here to get to 3-1 and get back on that winning track. Find a T-shirt here.
Oh, that's very nice.
Go with the Bucks.
All right, Bucktown, 3-1. Game 3. This is another cross-county rivalry. North Brunswick at East Columbus.
North Brunswick. I was at that game last week, and I really, really like what they're doing offensively. They score a whole bunch of points. They need to get a defensive stop or 2. I think they can do it this week. That offense is really clicking, passing the ball, running the ball to the sides. They really spread the field wide. So go back to the 80s. Scorpions.
Ah, nice. Okay, that'll be a good one. If East Columbus can find an offense, like I said, that'll be a really good game. Next game, we'll go another cross-county game here. West Columbus at Trask.
West Columbus Trask is a little interesting. Trask's defense also a little suspect. They gave up a lot of points, a lot of big plays last week to North Brunswick. That was an overtime game at Trask. However, I really like what Trask is doing offensively. Quarterback that cannot be caught once he gets into the open field. That's all you need to do. Hike and run, hike and run. Trask is going to do that this week. and they're going to go with a win for the Titans.
All right, so he's got a 2-game winning streak for Trask at home. And then the grand finale for here on the show, and make sure you go to starnewsvarsity.com to see the other games that we picked this week. But the Throwdown Showdown in Duplin County is this week, and that is Wallace Rose Hill, 1 helmet, against East Duplin. And we get to use 2 of our helmets this week, which I think is fantastic. Anyway, your choice.
Like what Wallace is doing. They're off to a great start in their title defense. East Duplin, a little too strong here, a little too physical. I'm going to go with them.
Okay, so East Duplin for you. I actually picked Wallace this week, but this is going to be one heck of a game. This is one of several Duplin County rivalries that will be in Brian Aldridge's farewell season with the Panthers. So it's going to be a doozy. If you're deciding to go to this game, I would suggest getting there early.
All right, now let's take a look at some of the other games that we may not have mentioned to this point. East Bladen coming off another win. They're 2-0. They're going to Clinton. North Myrtle Beach, they're going to find their way across the border after playing a couple North Carolina teams already. They're at South Brunswick. And also Pender is going to go to South Robb. So good game there.
I think so, yeah. Those are all winnable games for our local teams too. So.
Absolutely, I think so as well. Well, that's it for our preview show here on Wednesday. Join us on Friday for all the highlights and all the scores on the Friday Night Varsity Flashback Show. Dan will be there along with myself again. In the meantime, be sure to go to starnewsvarsity.com for all your scores, stats, and all your varsity needs. For Dan, I'm Aaron. We'll see you Friday.
Have a good night.